research and innovation in Futuris.
You wait, and then three come along at once, so the old joke about buses goes. But the bus has been getting a makeover.
Half of public transport in Europe is buses.
This takes us from the centre just 50 minutes.
But buses are still widely considered as the least efficient and least attractive transport system.
Sometimes people get sick from riding with their backs forward.
It's impossible to travel when buses are packed and dirty.
So our idea was to bring about the renaissance of the bus.
There's a brand new number 16 bus running on one of the busiest routes in Gothenburg. It's intended to rekindle a love affair between Europeans and their buses. And the magic bus has a few tricks built in to give passengers 20% more space.
Yes, this is a new developed bus we have. And to start with, we have these new two wider doors together. And that's to get better flow of passengers. We have also these foldable seats that you can see here. And we have 15 of them. And during the peak hours, the driver can lock them in the upright position. We have put the driver in the center between the wheels, the front wheels, and we move the front wheels forward. And here in the back, we have the new bellows that are transparent, and by that we get in more light into this area, because usually this area is very dark.
It's the final prototype of a European Union research project aimed at developing quieter, cleaner and more user-friendly buses.
Looks very modern, very nice. It's very quiet, which I like. And I guess it's a good thing with all these seats being flexible. It could fit more people in here.
It's easier entering, and it's a free space here.
And the drivers have their opinions too.
You have different reference points. As a driver, are situated in the center, and on all the other buses on the left, which means that if you use your old bus driver brain and drive this bus, you're at least a meter too far to the left. One thing is the communication with the passengers, since you're almost walled off in here. That's not a too big problem, but can be sometimes.
Researchers used complex mathematical models to calculate passenger flows and accessibility with various layout designs at different times and stations for bus routes all over Europe.
We want to investigate these conceptual changes of the bus layout, and we want to study how these conceptual changes affect the performance of the bus in terms of dwell time, capacity, accessibility.
They tested these and other theoretical models with a life-size mock-up made of wood.
That wooden bus was built out of modules, so we could change different design aspects of the bus, like we could have a new front, we could have another type of seats, or we could change the number of doors of the bus. And then we could see how those changes affected the passenger flow on and off, and where do people choose to stand and sit, and so on.
At the same time, scientists near Paris were developing a new all-in-one computer system that brings together the vehicle's information technology features. Drivers can control all the onboard electronics from a small screen, including GPS, real-time traffic information, energy consumption, ticketing, and even counting the passengers.
Pour un constructeur de véhicules, cette architecture permettra de fournir.
For a bus builder, this architecture will allow us to supply vehicles that are ready to receive this system. For the transport operators, this architecture will make it easier to install and maintain information systems.
La maintenance des systèmes d'information. Pour l'utilisateur final des
And for the public transport passenger, this architecture will allow us to supply a multi-mode service, continuous travel information from the start of the journey to the end.
Le long de son parcours.
In Dresden, researchers on ergonomics used a bus simulator to pinpoint the needs and priorities of European drivers. They studied two different scenarios: the more ordered streets of Dresden and the more chaotic streets of Rome. Professional drivers gave their feedback to help design their ideal cabin layout.
The overall structure is well thought out. I can easily reach the controls now without having to lean forward. I love an analog speedometer instead of a digital one. And I like to have some storage space for my bag and to keep some water bottles.
They looked at space, adjustability, comfort and visibility. And the research helped unveil some distinct differences between the priorities of bus drivers in Northern and Southern Europe.
They assess some things quite differently in Rome and Dresden. Drivers in Rome, for example, are more concerned about security. They're not very taken with the driver's position that's open to the public. For Dresden drivers, the main thing was storage space. That's what they commented on most. But that wasn't at all a priority for the drivers in Rome.
Das war bei den römischen Fahrern dann eben nicht an erster Stelle.
The road ahead for the researchers is now about installing the newly developed design layouts in more fuel-efficient buses with far more highly developed computer systems. And they say they're not short of new ideas.
In 20 years avremo autobus modulari che possono
In 20 years, we will have modular buses that will be able to adapt themselves to the number of passengers that they will have to transport in a given time or place. In 20 years, we will also have buses whose state of health, the functioning of the motor, the doors, etc., will be completely remote controlled from a distant computer office. That will prevent a bus from breaking down in the middle of a street.
The researchers say that for bus techno-evolution to become fully efficient, there'll also have to be a new generation of urban infrastructure.